This call is being recorded.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Sorry for the late dialing in. I was having some problem connecting. Can you hear me clearly right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, that's great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. A little tired. Usually on a Sunday night, I'd be kind of winding down and getting ready for the work week, but I've got my caffeine here and I'm trying to stay as alert as I can. Did you get my email with the questions answered?
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting
You're
answers
welcome.
written down, but a great job for me. It will be so easy. I'll try to be quick with your call so that you can have your rest before your work week. I hope you have you started your job hunt right now?
Yes, I've been for probably the last 3 or 4 weeks, you know, applying to different jobs and definitely, trying to find something. It's been a little challenging. Most of the jobs out there that I, have an interest in end up being contract jobs or um, the pay is unfortunately less than what I'm making right now. So those are the two biggest challenges that I'm having for sure.
Okay, and what I've seen your resume, I think it's a great resume. With a little tweaking, we'll be able to make it into a brilliant one as well, because I'm sure you have a lot of experience as well as a lot of tools, and plus data analytics is right now the most emerging fields in the market right now, especially with machine learning and artificial intelligence and then big data. It has become like the most sought after field right now. So, what kind of tools do you usually use for data and analytics during your, job responsibilities? And also,
Most,
do you know? Okay, please
I was
go
just going
on.
to say, if you need to complete your question, I can wait.
No, no, it's all right. Please continue.
Well, I was just going to answer your first question. Um, so most of my analytics is done using, pulling the data first from SQL or using SQL, and
Okay.
then pulling that into it, and then pulling that into Excel, and doing a lot of the analytics in Excel. That's the way my company does it. That's the way they've always done it. They're not as forward, they're not as caught up in a lot of the new data science tools that a lot of other companies are using. So we rely primarily on SQL and Excel. Now, in the last year or so, I've been taking a lot of courses outside of work on, Python and, R and
Okay.
data science. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I was saying this
Okay.
is great because I think Python and R are two of the languages that are like very much centered around the work that you do. So I'm glad you're taking courses about these things. Which are you using, like some online distant learning tools for learning these Python and R?
Yes. So if you checked out my LinkedIn profile, you'll see I've got coursework from, I started my Python journey on edX, and found that it wasn't really the kind of platform that I thought was good for me because I needed to have more interaction or more detail. And so I had a friend that's actually a data scientist recommend Udemy and Jose Portillo's courses in Python. So I took all of his courses in Python and machine learning and data science around Python. And then I also, like I said, in the last few months, I've started working with Business Science University, run by a gentleman named Matt Dancho. Matt is doing all of his coursework is in R. And so I've been taking his R courses. Right now, we're primarily interested or working on, a lot of data wrangling and visualization. Um, but, next we'll be going
Yeah.
into more of the data science and machine learning. So,
Okay,
so
that's
yeah, so
great.
edX,
That's great. I
yeah, so edX, at edX, Udemy, I've done a little bit of Coursera. Business Science University. So I've done some training and courses over the last 2 or 3 years, ranging from digital marketing certifications on Market Motive and Simply Learn to edX, Udemy, Coursera, Experfy, Business Science University. I've been on several different platforms, just learning and soaking up as much as I can on, data visualization, data science, R, Python, digital marketing, whatever I can do to help fill in the gaps in my career right now.
Okay, that's really good to hear, and I'm going to definitely capture this part of your learning into your resume, especially in the certifications and education part, because this is very important to showcase that you have been growing your portfolio knowledge wise as well. So I think let's talk about a few things. Okay, is there anything you would like to draw attention from your resume?
Well, I guess the biggest thing for me on that is that because I have both the marketing background and the analytics background, it's some people say, oh, that's great, and it's great that you have sort of this hybrid capability. You've got the business side and the marketing, you've also got the technical. But then some people, I think it was maybe Fatima, said, we need to make sure that they know when they look at your resume that you're an analyst, that that's really your primary thing. You just I guess my biggest thing is I want to make sure when people look at my resume, I want them to see, okay, this is somebody who's a really talented analyst and really is doing some data science too that would be helpful to our organization. And she just happens to also, after the fact, have some great marketing, sales, operations, risk experience as well, because my analytics that I've been doing has spanned not just marketing and sales, but I've also done analytics within the context of risk and operations due to the nature of the companies that I've been working for. Does that make sense? So I want first for them to see this is a great analyst that happens to have data science experience, or however you want to define that. And then, she just happens to also have all of this other great, domain knowledge and business experience related to, marketing, sales, operations, and risk. So,
Okay. I think you're absolutely right, because when I was going through the job listings that you sent to me, this was exactly the point that they were highlighting in the job listings as well. That they were trying to showcase that the candidate that they're looking for should be well versed with analytics, along with experiences in marketing, sales, consumer behavior, consumer engagement, and stuff like this, right? So I
right,
agree with
right.
you. I agree with you in really like, I totally agree with you. I've also seen the responses that you have sent. So you see that the thing is that your resume is great. Like right now, you have written a lot of stuff as well, and I will be able to mold it into your resume. The only thing that I find missing right now, I think Fatma highlighted as well, is that we need to quantify a lot of your experiences. Like, for example, if you build something, so how many people benefit from it, and how was the company that was generally benefiting through the experience that you have written?
Yeah,
So this is what exactly I'm.
that's definitely
Okay,
my biggest
continue, please.
challenge on the
Okay.
that's definitely my biggest challenge is quantifying things, because I guess it's ironic, as an analyst, I analyze numbers all day long and I'm in the data and I'm doing things for other people. And I'm always thinking about other people, right? Everything I do, I'm thinking about whether it's for customers or whether it's my, management or executive team. I'm always doing things for other people and I'm trying to, help them find insights. But I'm the worst when it comes to looking at myself and, figuring out, how do I quantify what I've done? Because in a lot of organizations, analytics is seen as more of a cost function. It's not seen as
I can.
a function, so that brings about return. So it's been very difficult for me to quantify that. So that's where I'm looking to you guys to help me. So I'm not really sure how to go about doing that, because it's not like I'm a salesperson and I can say, well, I exceeded my quota by 20% or whatever. I can tell you these are
Okay.
the projects I've worked on. I can certainly tell you, these are the organizations and their size and, the size of the team. And, I can tell you, for example, how large the company was when I got there. They're kind of, sort of guesstimating because sometimes I don't have information on the financials, but I can tell you, this is how big the company, was approximately, and now here's how big they are. But I can't, it's very difficult for me to go in and say, well, this project resulted in, X amount of, ROI. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand that, and you don't have to like tell me exactly how the ROI was, or how did you, increase maybe. But generally, you can talk about the number of people that worked with you, how many people did you train, and what was generally the output of this project. So in this way, we can quantify things as well. You don't have to exactly have the, these are the number of sales I increased. You don't have to do that, because to be honest, you're a technical
Okay, well,
person, and I can
okay,
totally understand that, because I'm also from an IT background. And if somebody asks me how to quantify my own achievements, I won't be able to do that, but I would definitely be able
yeah,
to tell them that these are the number of people I worked with, these are the number of people I trained, and something, something like this. And these are the
right,
uh, system automations that I've brought in when I was working at the
right.
company. So I
Okay,
think let's
okay,
start that.
good. Because
That's okay.
yeah, I was gonna
Please
say that's
continue.
good that you understand that from an IT perspective, because that's very close to what I do as far as my day to day. So what I've tried to do, I know you probably haven't had time to review it before you got on the phone call with me, but I think I've answered probably 80% of your questions in the
Yes,
information that I sent you.
yes. I
I
haven't
tend to
read
be
them in
very,
detail.
very, yeah. I
I
tend to be very detailed. So
Okay,
I think you'll find that a lot of the questions are answered there. So I've gone into, the types of projects I've worked on, the number of people that I've worked with. Um, you know, Scopus Financial that I work for right now is a very small organization. I think it would be helpful to probably go over with you just, maybe the size of the organization. And I'm happy to try to come back to you. I don't have it right now. I can email it later. I can try to sometime over the next couple of days. I can give you some idea of, how large the company was when I joined it based on the portfolio size, because I work in auto finance. So the last
okay,
13 years, it's all been about, how large is the portfolio when you join the company? How many customers do you have? How much do you have in terms of, accounts receivables, and how many loans do you have on the books, as opposed to, what have you generated in terms of originations. And the team that I work with, we're directly responsible for generating that new income, that those new loans that come in the door, right? So I can talk about, if you want me to get back to you, I could talk about, you know, I don't remember what I had at GM Financial in terms of like, it's been a while. That's the problem too with some of these is, I've spent most of my time at Scopus for the last 5 or 6 years. So I can talk
okay,
about Scopus, but it's hard for me to go back and say at GM Financial, how much we had when I started versus what we had when I left. Now I can talk about the size of the teams that I worked with and the number of people that I've trained or helped, or, the type of structure of the organization. I'm happy to do that. So I guess I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on here, but if you'll kind of tell me specifically sort of what would be helpful to you, I'm happy to go through whatever questions you have that you think I didn't answer or may have not answered, in getting back to you on this document.
yes, Jennifer, that's fine. I will go through it one by one and then just ask you the surface questions, because I can see you've written a lot of information already. I'm just going to help you quantify the things that I need for the resume right now. If I need to ask you
Okay.
something specifically, I will send you an email while I'm making your resumes. Okay?
Okay, perfect. That sounds great.
Okay, so you have written about your day-to-day responsibilities. So let's just jump directly to the point that I was making earlier as well. So how many people do you report to you directly?
Nobody reports to me directly right now. My title has manager in it, but what I do is, so I'm running the day-to-day operations of our team. my boss is the chief marketing officer, and he doesn't want to get into the day-to-day. Okay, he's not interested in being involved in the day-to-day. He wants me running that. So even though they don't directly report to me, I'm basically the sales manager / sales director plus the marketing analytics manager for our department. So we're a very, very small organization. There's about 100 employees at Scopus Financial. Okay, so our team is comprised of right now 8 sales reps plus myself and our chief marketing officer, who acts as, like I said, sort of the leader of the business development organization. So he's out traveling with our sales reps. He's out, he's talking with our executive team and trying to make sure they understand what we're working on. But he relies on me for the day-to-day. So even though they don't directly report to me on a straight line basis, it's more of a dotted line. For all intents and purposes, I'm running the day-to-day of this department. I'm running. They don't report to me, but I'm basically managing all of their activities. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does definitely. So,
Okay.
when you say that you're looking after all the marketing things and generally, can you like quantify the general revenue of the company, how much they like earn and stuff like this, right? Or how
I could
large their
do
profits are?
I can do that, but I'm going to have to actually open up my laptop to do that for you. So